Accra Metropolitan Assembly has vowed to demolish more illegal structures within or along the shores of Jamestown right through to Osuklote. The threat comes days after demolition of structures at Mensa Guinea. But why wait for these structures to spring up into huge structures, spring up into many other structures, and people will live there, spanning over several decades before we decide to do something as demolish their structures and render them homeless? Kwabnacha Nchehene Boateng was in town earlier today to seek the views of the public on how the Accra Metropolitan Assembly should approach the issue of demolition.
Accra Metropolitan Assembly last Friday demolished structures at Mensa Guinea, a slum settlement behind the Arts Center here in Accra, displacing thousands of inhabitants. Accra Mayor Alfred Okovandapoy, despite the criticisms and condemnation for the action rights campaigners say was insensitive, maintains the exercises.
I'm here at Nima, a place which is home to many and a source of livelihood and business center for a lot more. Now, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly says after the demolition exercise carried out last Friday at Mensa Guinea, it's going to actually demolish many more structures around Osuklote, Jamestown, all those areas, many more. So, can you tell me your name and what you do?
My name is Ebenezer Barema Champon. Yeah, I'm a taxi driver running from Nima to Accra.
Ebenezer, I'm sure you might have heard of the numerous demolition exercises being carried out by the AMA and the threats to even carry out much more. What are your general thoughts on it?
The demolition will never solve the problem, actually. Particularly, the causing of this harm to these innocent people is very dangerous. They are exactly threatening to the society. Of course, demolition, particularly when we say demolition, demolition for what? The only thing to do to take good care of them. You see, maybe you can even go and buy this storage container for them to prevent them from the this corolla, as they are saying that because of corolla they have just taken them from that particular demolition, the number of total amount of money and other kind of things. It won't help. The only thing to do is to take good care of them. They are also Ghanaians. You see,
they are Ghanaians, but what if they are illegally settling in this particular area?
Who knows? Have they contacted them? Are they Ghanaians or not? They do not. So what do? The first thing, to take good care of them, prevent them from the corridor that you are talking about it, but don't demolish them. Destroy them will never solve the problem.
So what if there's no option other than to evict them and demolish their structures? What do you think would be the best approach?
Best approach, this particular issue is we are threatening to the society. Where are they going now? As I'm talking to you, where are they going now? Where are they going to stay? So it's a threat to society again. Do you want them to go and steal or what? Do you want them to go and rob or what? I mean, we have to be simple and taking good care of them instead to destroy them and send them away will never solve the problem. The main thing to do is taking good care of them. That will solve the problem.
What they did was not right. They were supposed to inform us that they were going to do something about that place, that maybe they wanted to destroy that place so that maybe some people will move their things to different places before destroying those things.
But they informed them, they gave them a 3-day notice.
No, they did not inform. Even this place to the same thing, that was what they did around this area. My friend was even selling things there. So what they did was not right to me.
So what if the people were illegally residing in the area, there was so much filth in the area, you think the AMA didn't have any right to do what they did?
Yes, they don't have any right to do that. Because if they would have informed us, we would have not, I don't even know how to express myself. If they would have informed us before doing that, maybe some people will be cleaning that area. But one day, they always collect money from us. One city, one day, the last came here and poured one girl's things and collected money. We were the even people who paid for her. She did not sell anything before pouring those things.
So now let's look at this. What if there's no option? They really have to sack these people and relocate them or probably demolish these structures. What do you think should be their approach? How should they go about it?
So that one day, I don't know what to do. It's the president who's supposed to help them, not them.
Oh, okay, I think we can still make some better things in the country, especially in Accra. We have to let our people or our market women know where should be dumping their refuse and then where not should dump their refuse, so that it will save us from this illness of cholera. And then I think when they do that to the market women, everything will be solved. But if demolition, people spend a lot of money to build stores and then do containers. So if you demolish somebody's stores or container, you are rather hurting the person. So I think we should talk to our people so that they will stop building at the street or selling things at the street and keep our marketplace well for us to live.
So which better approach can be done if we are not to demolish their structures when their structures are illegally situated? What then should be done? How can we then do this?
We can set a place for them so that they can move to that place, and then if a compensation, we can give compensation to them so that they can move to a new place so that the demolition will start and then rebuild a new Accra for our country, so that we will not be feeling sick or getting this type of cholera things in our country.
So I can see you're going to work. You live here?
Yes, I live here.
Okay. Now, what do you make of the demolition exercise?
I want to talk about displacement of people here in this country. I think that authorities are blatantly and flagrantly, conspicuously breaking the law and rendering people homeless. And really, nobody cares here in Ghana. Lawrence Amesu is with Amnesty International Ghana office, and he's joined me over the telephone. Lawrence.
How are you?
I'm well. Is Amnesty happy about what's going on?
This is a mixed feeling. It is too bad that we see our people being rendered homeless this way, and to see the pictures of people weeping and weeping is just too bad for Ghana at this particular time. Well, for Amnesty International, development is important. Infrastructure development is important. But the paramount thing is that human beings are the most important. And the infrastructure development is for the people. So what we want to say is that the demolition per se is not an issue that we are talking about here. We all aware, and it's acceptable by UN, that there will come a time when there will be a need for development and then there will be need for demolition. However, it is important for us to go through the process very well so no one individual suffers. Unfortunately, what we see today and over the past 1 week is many people suffering, going back to abject poverty, and that is very bad. Amnesty International has always said that demolition per se is not an issue. What is very important is first, whether we consult the affected people genuinely, whether they were involved in the discussion, and secondly, whether the adequate information has been given to them, and if this was met, is there any plan for compensation for them? If not, is there any plan to relocate the affected people? Because whatever we are doing, we're saying that we are seeking the welfare of Ghanaians, our citizens. what has happened now, if there is no consultation, if there is no adequate information given to these people, if there is no plan for compensation and there is no plan for relocation, then it's just too bad. And I think you asked one important question.
We'll come to that important question, but I don't want us to limit ourselves to Mensa Guinea alone. We have the spillage up north of the Bagre Dam, which has swollen the White and Black Volta. It has killed 2 people already. Again, I am not sure if we followed. In fact, Ghana is one of the countries that has signed on to everything from the United Nations. And I'm not sure we managed to follow the basic principles and guidelines when it comes to displacement, evacuations, and evictions of people. Let's talk about the Bagre Dam. What should have been done in the case of the Bagre Dam to avert unnecessary deaths as we have recorded already?
I think the important thing is that we are unable to plan ahead. I think that is our major problem. We know that anytime the Bagre Dam is open, our people upstream, the downstream, all suffer. The farmers, people who are living around the Volta River, all suffer. So there should be a plan already, knowing that this occurs every year. But if we have to wait until the dam is open and then we have to quickly run to send pillows, mattresses, and blankets, that is not helping us. I think the important thing is we have to plan ahead and to ensure that generally, including the city of Accra and around the Volta River, we have to ensure that where we've located as for future development or for people not to reside there, we have to guard it jealously to prevent people from living there. But once we just relax and see people living where we do not want them to live, and we allow them to live 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, then we are duty bound to follow regulations to ensure that no one individual suffers. I think the important thing is we don't plan well and we don't help ourselves.
You mentioned the fact that slums, pulling down structures within slums is inevitable. But then also, as part of the principles, everyone is supposed to enjoy the right to adequate housing. As a country that we haven't managed to provide that, you and I know the history of affordable housing in Ghana. We haven't managed to provide that's right for the people of Ghana. Yet, we can happily, boldly decide that we want to render people homeless. And nothing is done about it.
These are the difficulties that we all face in this country. As we speak now, the housing policy has gone through drafts and drafts. As of now, we don't have a housing policy. And that is a major problem also that we have on our hands. And of course, we are not planning for the poor. All development of housing that go on in this country are for the first class and then the middle class. We do not think of the poor. And that is also one major problem that we have. But for us to be able to arrest this situation in the long term, it is also important for us to be looking at the development of our country, whether it is not too tilted to the urban cities, where we are dragging people from the rural areas into the cities. We need to start looking at how we can develop the rural areas so people do not necessarily have to move from the rural areas into the cities. So long as we are not tackling that problem, we will continue to have this problem on ourselves. And we need to plan ahead as a country,
But we have a situation at hand. I got a text that in Ivory Coast, when the demolition was going on, adequate preparation was made for the affected people. These people had lined up beautifully to take their compensation from government. bring the same situation here to Ghana. One, a country that cannot provide adequate housing for its citizens, yet is able to go around and then pull down structures it has watched spring up and lived there spanning several decades. And we expect that these hundreds of people go where? Where do these people go? What happens to these people?
That is a question for all of us to answer.
Does it make you feel safe?
It's really bad. We are trying to solve one problem and creating another problem. I heard that AMA is doing this because they want to prevent cholera outbreak. But in solving that problem, what we're doing now is to send people to death because people are losing their sources of income straight away, and also people are being pushed back into abject poverty, and that is very bad. I think that is not the starting point of solving this problem at all. The starting point will be for us to start looking at how we can relocate, particularly the people living on living at Old Fadama, because I heard that is the next stop. But we need to look at where we are going to relocate them before we go in for demolition plan at all.
But here's something else I find extremely worrying, and it makes me sad to say I'm a Ghanaian at this point, because I can't sleep in peace now. You are not sure of who will knock at your door, because we are rendering several people homeless and jobless at the same time. And so we have civil society in this country. A lot of you are here, up and down. You talk about a number of things. But when it came to government breaking the rules, going against the same principles that it has signed on to at the UN level, nobody is spoken about it. These people will be rendered homeless, jobless, and I am not safe in my own country. What are you doing about it? People like you.
I think that Amnesty International and other civil society organizations have spoken several times on this issue. We have, for Amnesty International, we have brought representatives of AMA, representatives from the Ministry of Interior, the police, and then representatives of the Slum to a roundtable conference for us to discuss this. Over the past 5 years, we have been discussing this. And for us to be seeing these sort of things happening means that we are not listening, and we do not want to help our own people. I think some of the action is being taken without taking into consideration how it will affect human beings. I think that is the problem. But definitely, I can assure you that civil society, some of our civil society organizations have been dealing with this question of housing, question of the rights of people living in the slum, a question of how we deal with it for the past 5 years in this country. And Amnesty International has been leading this campaign. And it's just unfortunate that...
So what's going to happen? Civil society is just going to watch these people have their rights not only violated, but rendered to abject poverty, like you have mentioned. That's what we're going to do, fold our arms and look at it?
Definitely, civil society will not just go idle. It is important for us also to know that when these sort of things happen, for Amnesty International, we need to be careful about whether the right thing has been done. We have to go and look at the situation and give reports before we can take action. It will be bad on our part if we do not look at the two parts, the people who are living there and also AMA, whether they have consulted them, whether there is any plan at all put in place. And as I explained earlier, if AMA has actually gone through all these plans and has a plan to relocate the people who are living in Mesa Guinea and also Old Fadama, then they are performing their right duties, they are protecting the people, and they are fulfilling what a government should do. That is why sometimes when it happens immediately, we cannot jump just to blame AMA or government. We need to look at it carefully to see what has happened. Is there any plan? is there any compensation already in the package? Is there a plan to relocate? We have to also look at all this. So there is no way that.
But you see, Lawrence, the point is, the point is civil society waiting for the AMA to come and tell you that, okay, we had a compensation plan, and shouldn't civil society be proactive? And then again, if there was compensation, like we had with those who were the yam market that was being transferred from Old Fadama to somewhere around Kaswa, we would know. These people were given a 3-day notice to move from a place they have lived, spanning 3 decades. 3 decades. They have lived their lives there. Well, talk about the protection of women and children, the vulnerable. It didn't happen. And then we decide that, okay, we'll wait for the AMA to come and tell us that, indeed, there was a compensation package in this. That's what civil society wants to do?
No. Honestly, as I said earlier, we always invite AMA to roundtable conferences to discuss all this. And I know that AMA had assured Amnesty International some time ago that they're looking for areas to relocate these people. So it will not be fair to blame civil society entirely, because there is no way that we can also just squeeze the hands of AMA. What we can do is to keep on pushing AMA to do the right thing, to protect the rights of people, and also to fulfill the obligations of government towards its citizens. And that is exactly what civil society and Amnesty International have been doing in this country. It's unfortunate that AMA will just take 3 days to just demolish a place like this, if it is true that really it just took 3 days.
I see. We'll leave the conversation here for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Lawrence, for your time. Lawrence Amesu is with Amnesty International Ghana office. Now, the conversation around demolition, evacuations and evictions here in this country would go on here on Joy News. The point is, it does not matter whether these people are occupying there illegally or legally. Once there is going to be some form of displacement or eviction, the guidelines would have to be followed. The rules and regulations governing demolitions, governing displacements or evacuations or evictions in this country and beyond should be followed. There is international law to this. We need to protect the rights of these people, and that's why News Desk has decided to focus on this. But we'll turn attention to something else now. Don't go away, I'll be right back.